Hi everybody, welcome to today's Sunday gear review at Active Self Protection. I'm at C2 Tactical in Scottsdale. Today I want to talk to you about this B&T MP5SD that I have mounted on my SP5 and why, man, this suppressor is freaking cool.
Bigtex Ordnance is my go-to source for accessories for all your defensive and competition firearms. They have great holsters with accessories for concealment and ship fast at great prices. I'm a proud customer and recommend them without hesitation.
Now, I had a previous video about why I like, having a suppressor on your home defense guns. This is one of my home defense options. It is a MP5 or SP5 pistol, has a stabilizing brace on it. Man, I just picked up this suppressor. I went through all the ATF hoo-ha. We'll talk about that in a bit. But the reason that I picked this can in particular and why I love this can in particular is it is particularly designed by B&T for this gun, and it gets the same level of overpressure and of muzzle hiding, flash hiding, and sound suppression that most other suppressors get out of subsonic ammo, and this guy gets it with supersonic. Now, I'm going to say I don't think with supersonic ammo that it's hearing safe. I won't shoot it, certainly indoors, with supersonic ammunition. But I'm going to show you how quiet this guy gets with 147 grain HSTs, and it might blow your mind. Bigtex sells suppressors, right? So if you want to get into the suppressor game, they can transfer a suppressor to your local FFL, unless you're in Conroe or nearby and you want to use them, but you don't want to do that. Generally speaking, you want to transfer it to a different FFL, and they can help you to make sure that you get it to the right one and get the right one for you, okay? I bought this one from a friend that was getting out of the NFA game, and I got it cheap. I paid $300 for this suppressor. Now that I had to wait 8 months and do a bunch of government paperwork and pay $200 for this tax stamp. So it cost me $500, which is the cost of a reasonable pistol. But I want you to listen to what it does to this gun, and because of that, why I like it for home defense. So it's rated for 28 decibels, all right? And that means it'll take the 160-ish decibels of a 9mm, bring it down to low 130s, right? Like 130, 132. And that's right at the edge of hearing damage, all right? Now that said, some of that is because of the supersonic crack of a 9mm bullet. Those standard 115 grains are running 1150, 1180 feet per second, which is over the 1125 of the speed of sound. And so that's going to give you a supersonic crack and be part of that. But if you use subsonic ammunition, and you can either buy subsonics or HSTs, are 147 grain ones are 1,000 feet per second. They're subsonic by design. And so you're going to hear the difference in this, and it's ridiculous. And I'm going to even show you, I'm going to take a couple of shots with this, suppressed with 147s without my ears on, and you're going to hear it's really something else. And of course, in a defensive shooting, you will have auditory exclusion and all that, so your brain just shuts your ears off, but it still does the damage to the cilia in your ears, which of course you accept that because you go, listen, the damage to the cilia in my ears is nothing compared to the deadly threat that's out in front of me, so I accept that consequence of having to press the trigger. You wouldn't do it if you didn't have to, right? Because you only do it to protect your life. But then also, there's no reason to pay that if you don't have to, and we don't have to in this particular instance. So the only other thing I had to get when I bought this guy is it comes, the MP5SD, with the thread mounts and what mounts are is ridiculous and myriad and goofy, okay? And has been a huge learning curve for me. It comes with an M18x1 thread pattern. This MP5 either has a 1/2x28 or a tri-lug, so I bought an adapter from M18x1 to 1/2x28 in order to thread it on this gun. It works great. That piece cost me like 15 bucks. That was pretty easy, so that wasn't a whole lot of money. The tri-lug adapter is a little bit more, so I went with this. All right, shut up, Korea, let's shoot it. We're gonna start with the 115 grain MagTech, right? So this is just my standard carry ammo, not carry ammo, rather range ammo MagTech stuff, 115 grains, easy day. And I know people are gonna yell at me about the sling, but I'm taking the rifle on and off enough that I'm not gonna mess with that today. Okay, here's that. Now, again, much quieter than what you'd normally hear. I'm gonna shake this a little bit just so it doesn't blow your ears out on the camera, but I'm just gonna lower the volume. I'm not gonna clip sounds or put hard limits on things. So I'm just gonna clip it down so you can kind of hear it. Whole lot quieter. I'm telling you, coming through the ears, ridiculously quiet comparatively. Remember, the MP5 was designed in an era when they didn't have a holdback on last round, so this one doesn't. Now, I want you to hear 147 grain HSTs are subsonic. Just the difference here through my hearing protection is really something else. Okay, let's just hear it. There's not that crack. It's not only quieter, that 30 decibels, but no supersonic crack. What? Now, I'm going to do something here that I'm going to tell you I wouldn't recommend you do a lot of, okay? And certainly only under a competent supervision. I'm out here on a range all by myself. There's nobody else here today. So take that for what it's worth. But I'm going to take my ears off. And why? Because with the subsonic ammo, we're right around high 120s in decibels here is the most likely, right at the 130 decibel limit. It's somewhere 133, 135 that you start going, we start worrying about hearing loss and those kinds of things. So guys, it's not bad. I wouldn't do a lot of it, but here we are. It's not really bad. It's loud. It's right at the limit of I go, oh, geez, I don't love that. And I wouldn't do it a lot, but my ears aren't ringing. And so that's pretty cool. So if you can find an MP5SD, they're out of stock most places, but if you can find one, they retail somewhere around 600 bucks. Then you got to add the $200 tax stamp, 15 bucks for an adapter, 20 bucks for an adapter, something like that. You're in 750 to 850 bucks, all things considered for this. For a home defense gun, if you're going to use something like a MP5, you know, submachine gun for home defense, I think it's super valuable, guys. And even if this was, you lived out in the country and this was what you were, you know, doing for critter suppression or something like that, save your hearing, not a bad choice.